With details on Will Ospreay's AEW signing and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Speaking about a possible WWE Hall of Fame induction, Lex Luger said on his podcast, "It would be enormous. It'd be a huge honor. Absolutely." I get asked that question a lot. A lot of guys go, "Wait a second, you're not in?" A lot of people think I'm already in. A lot of people will introduce me as a Hall of Famer. They say WWE, and I go, "Well, no, actually, I'm not a WWE Hall of Famer yet." I don't know if that's a factor or not, but it may be controversial. Some people felt like the wrestling world kind of shunned me for quite a while over some of the things that happen outside of the ring that we can obviously go into at the proper time when we want to in the future. So if I never get in, I still look back fondly with my career and what I did accomplish, but man, it definitely would be the whipped cream and cherry on top and a huge honor if I ever do. Taking to X, Iyo Sky noted the experience that she has in WarGames matches as she is set to take part in another one with Damage Control against Bianca Belair's team. She wrote, "I am the only woman who had participated in every women's WarGames match in WWE history. I know everything that goes on in the cage. Iyo Sky is the genius of WarGames." At a WWE live event, MVP offered fans in attendance $10,000 to try and take Omos off his feet. Here's the clip.
"I said you should stop booing because I bring a gift for you. See, I know that this area for quite some time has been economically challenged. Most of you here can barely afford the ticket tonight. I understand people are sagging off work. So, I'm going to give you an opportunity to change your life. I have $10,000 right here. More money than any one of you has ever seen at one time. And I am putting up $10,000 of my money to anyone that can knock the Nigerian giant off of his feet."
Let's go! Let's go!
Really? And you think you don't have an athletic bone in your body. Sit down, man.
Me right here!
Nah, fat boy, the offensive line playing games with a long time ago. Sit down.
Come on! I'll give him my belt!
And you look stupid enough to try. You do. $10,000 to knock the Nigerian giant off of his feet.
Let's go!
Anybody?
Right here!
You're too old. Don't give it up. You should have given it up a long time ago.
Right here!
The money is safe, cause none of these cowards stand a chance.
So should we just leave?
Posting on X, NXT star Nikkita Lyons, who has been out of action after suffering a torn MCL back in January, wrote, "To the ones who've been supporting me throughout my recovery, I freaking love you. Live your best life, attack your goals, and ignore the haters. We vibrate in love over here, baby." A fan then asked about her recovery, to which Lyons replied, "We'll be back soon." When the topic of Ronda Rousey came up, former WCW president Eric Bischoff said on his 83 Weeks podcast, I think she's, I don't want to say overrated, but I think in terms of the professional wrestling industry, she's overrated. An obviously very accomplished mixed martial artist, very accomplished at judo, phenomenal athlete, but she never clicked for me in WWE despite a push from the gods. She got an amazing push, but there was something lacking with her and she never clicked with me. I don't think she really clicked with the audience. not long after she first arrived, I think the shine kind of wore off the star pretty quickly. And I never got the feeling that she was really serious about the industry. Don't get me wrong, not in terms of her performances or what she put in, not suggesting that she didn't put in her full effort. But it takes more than that, and I never really felt like she embraced the business. After Holly Holm knocked her out decidedly, she left there kind of whined about it a little bit, not someone who handled the loss well in the media. Then she segued into WWE, and I don't know. I just don't think she's as big a name as people sometimes think she is. I think she mattered to a buyer. I don't think that there's going to be a media buyer out there or a programming buyer out there that's going, oh wait, you got Ronda Rousey? I wasn't too sure about this deal, but now I really want to do it. I don't see that. When it came to the subject of how a match against Brock Lesnar would look, Intercontinental Champion Gunther told Under the Ring, "You never really know what you get with Brock. It's definitely a match I want to have and I want to do. I feel Brock is somebody, I just make it my thing. I make him my personal end boss. That's the guy that at one point I have to step in the ring with to validate myself." Going over previous plans for John Cena in WWE, BWE posted on X, Cena was discussed to be a part of WarGames pre-Crown Jewel. All that changed. Cody takes lead. They have full faith in the selected group, especially after selling out Chi-Town. Talking about no longer being in character following his retirement from pro wrestling, The Undertaker noted on his 6 Feet Under podcast, "There are people out there that are still mad at me. There are a ton of people that love the fact that I'm talking and doing the One Dead Man show and 6 Feet Under, but there's still a large group of people that are really upset with me because I don't talk about taking souls, and I've kind of opened up to the point where people have accused me of ruining their childhood." In a photo posted on X, Dolph Ziggler can be seen with his brother and other AEW stars as he was backstage at the Full Gear event. Following his WWE release, Ziggler's non-compete clause is set to expire next month, with it remaining to be seen where he ends up in the pro wrestling world. Asked about the possibility of CM Punk returning to WWE, Johnny Gargano said on the Battleground podcast, "There are many eyes currently on WWE television. Obviously, every little bit helps. I mentioned how Logan Paul has taken the United States Championship all over the world with him and getting new eyes on the product. At the end of the day, whatever is going to get more eyes on WWE television, that's the best move possible. Whoever that may be, whoever they bring in, whatever eyes they bring in, I'm all for it." Giving an update on Sammy Guevara, who has been out of action from AEW after suffering a concussion at Wrestle Dream, Fuego del Sol told Muscleman Malcolm, "Yeah, me and Sam, we talk every day. He's legitimately one of my best friends, and a lot of times we don't even talk wrestling. We talk about all the other crazy stuff in the world going on. He is feeling a lot better, and his return is imminent. I definitely thought he was going to be on Dynamite recently in that 8-man street fight. However, he wasn't back yet, but I know he wants to come back in a major way, so we'll see where the tide takes him." Revealing why he ended up signing a contract with AEW, Will Ospreay said at the post-show media scrum for Full Gear, "I feel like I'm at my best over here. I've enjoyed every time I've come over here, and right now this is just the best decision for me and my family. I'm not interrupting my kids' school. My missus can see her parents. Like, I get to be one of the best pro wrestlers to have ever done it, and I get to do it on weekly TV, and I get to test myself in these waters." Staying on this topic, this was said regarding the process of AEW signing Will Ospreay, as Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful noted. The move happened well before Ospreay's NJPW deal was up, which left many surprised, considering the nature of his deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling, how that had happened. We've confirmed that Ospreay is still under contract to NJPW and will continue to be through January of 2024. We're told that Ospreay had communicated to New Japan that he wasn't re-signing with them, and he had their blessing to sign with AEW, who have worked with NJPW for years now. The relationship between the two sides allowed this new deal to be facilitated. Ospreay will still be able to work select dates for New Japan while under AEW contract. We can confirm that WWE had been in contact with Will Ospreay's representation in recent weeks in an effort to gauge interest. The conversation wasn't much of a secret within the company, as they were looking to see what kind of schedule and possible relocation would happen. There was also interest from Impact/TNA Wrestling, though we've not learned how far those talks got. Ospreay had also communicated interest in returning to TNA after appearing there recently. WWE sources that we spoke to claim that they had not got an official word of the signing, but figured by this week that Ospreay was AEW bound. By Friday night's Collision, several talent within AEW were openly discussing the signing. Talking about his brother Logan Paul and his accomplishments in WWE, Jake Paul told Sports Illustrated, "It's crazy how fast he's excelled and ascended to be the United States champion. No one could have expected Logan to be this perfect for WWE. I don't think anyone there expected him to be wearing the belt around naked either, but I guess that's what you get when you sign up with the Paul brothers. What Logan's doing, it's amazing to see how good he is at the sport. I'm so proud of him. This is just the start of what he's going to accomplish in WWE." It seems Monday Night Raw will be getting new music, as it was said by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. As best we can tell, the new Raw theme will be titled Born to Be. There is also music for match graphics showing the crowd and the like. We're told names of those are Survival, Came to Win It, and Eyes of a Warrior. The publishers are listed as members of Def Rebel and Stephanie Music Publishing Inc., the latter of which is WWE's music publishing company. For an update on the YouTube series Being the Elite that the Young Bucks run, Brandon Cutler wrote on X that sources close to Matt and Nick are telling me that they have officially finished up with Being the Elite. Giving a health update on an AEW star, it was said that Fightful Select has confirmed that Bullet Club Gold member Juice Robinson is slated to be out of action for the immediate future. Robinson was absent from this weekend's AEW Full Gear in Los Angeles as he's dealing with an injury. Fightful confirmed that Robinson sustained a back injury recently and it will require surgery to fix it. We're not sure exactly when Robinson sustained the injury, but he last competed on the November 1st episode of AEW Dynamite, where Bullet Club Gold defeated MJF and the Acclaimed. Ringside News added, it was also noted that they weren't given a specific timetable, but were told he's likely done in the ring for the year, though it wasn't expected to be an extremely drawn-out absence, barring setbacks. Recalling her going from WWE's Tough Enough to the Total Divas reality television show, Mandy Rose said on the Power Alphas podcast, I knew I was going to be very respectful and friendly and nice and whatever. However, it's reality TV. I already went through that experience on Tough Enough of being like the nice girl kind of finishes last. Like I had Lita and Jericho come up to me and was like, listen, you got everything, what it takes, but you got to step it up when it comes to the reality part and drama. This is reality. mentality. Like, you have to stand out. So that's when I became the big bad wolf. Anyway, there was a balance for me. So I was like, okay, in order to like make a statement here, make some noise, I have to create some drama, but like I have no one to like go up against with. Like, I had no one with me. For instance, I had Daria on Tough Enough that we just hit it off. We always stood by each other's side. If one was messing with her, I stepped in. If one was messing with me, she'd step in. Like, we were a team, and like we're very loyal like that. I didn't have that going into Total Divas. Like, it was all of them against me, you know, for TV purposes, but also like in real life, which brings me to the wonderful trip to Paris. Paris was really, really interesting. I don't think I've ever spoken about this either, ever. Like, I mean, maybe little bits of it, but like, whatever. Paris was the time where I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I called my ex and I literally said to him, I cried. I was crying one night and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I'm not made for this. I don't like it. These girls are mean. I don't even feel like it's for television. I feel like it's for real life. I'm being left out. Like, people don't want to hang out with me. Like, I hate this. I hate it. I was crying. It was like really upsetting. Like, I don't know. It was just such a weird time for me too. Like, so much was happening and I had so much pressure of like, you know, Mandy Rose is the next big thing. Everything I did was just like watched and I was just so like, oh my God. I came from the show on Tough Enough that I had so much confidence. I was like beaming with confidence and I was just like, I fell in love with this. I think this is going to be something. I'm so excited to then going to like this and being like, I felt really small. I was like, I lost my confidence. I was trying to be nice, but I felt like I should have just been a freaking bitch. I was not like clicking with anyone. I clicked with Eva from the start, but I felt like because the Bellas were the big thing and you know, they had the most time in there and they had a big presence about them. Like, I felt like everyone was kind of always like trying to please the Bellas, the girls, and like I was trying to please them too, but like I didn't really think they liked me too much in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I get along with them great now. I love them and I have so much respect for them. I just saw them recently at the big event signing. I love them. I think they've done amazing things. I envy them in following their footsteps, but at the same time, I don't think they were big fans of me, and I would love to ask them actually for real, like next time I see them, like, by the way, I talked about you guys on my podcast, but like, did you like me the first time you met me? Anyway, so I just was in a place where I didn't feel like me. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have anyone. I didn't know who was on my side. I felt very alone. Even when it came to producers and people behind the scenes, I just felt like they were going to always put the other girls first because, and rightfully so, that's fine, but I felt like no one was in my favor. I went from Tough Enough that I was like, I was a big shot over there. I felt like, you know, I gained a lot of respect. The big boss saw me and he liked what I was doing, and I felt like the producers were really on my side, but then like when it came to Total Divas, I felt like people were trying to destroy me. Touching on evidence to support Drew McIntyre re-signing with WWE, Ringside News wrote, a recent development regarding Drew McIntyre's potential departure from WWE has surfaced as his current contract is slated to conclude in 2024. This new hint came in the form of promotional material that the company released for their historic SmackDown in Berlin. After all, it was recently reported that WWE and McIntyre have worked out a new deal. Questions surrounding the future of the former two-time WWE champion have circulated widely, with the reported expiration date of his existing agreement drawing near around April 2024. In the promotional content found on WWE.com for WWE's inaugural German premium live event Bash in Berlin, scheduled for August 31st, 2024, McIntyre takes a prominent position on the event's poster. He shares space with other prominent stars like Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Seth Rollins, potentially hinting at a continuation of his tenure with WWE beyond April. It's important to note, though, that WWE's inclusion of McIntyre in the event's promotional materials does not constitute a confirmed contract extension, as event listings are subject to change. Taking a shot at the hardcore pro wrestling fans, AEW World Champion MJF told Dr. Bo Hightower, I think the biggest issue with professional wrestling now, and I've stated it multiple times, is people are so overly consumed with what's going on bell to bell, at least the hardcore audiences. But the fact of the matter is, Twitter, for example, makes up such a small percentage of the audience. So for example, The Acclaimed is one of the hottest acts that we have. They drop huge merch 24/7 all the time. If you go on Twitter, a couple months ago, they're like, the Acclaimed is the best tag team in the world. The Acclaimed this, the Acclaimed that. If you go on Twitter now, let's say for a hypothetical, it's like, man, I don't get Acclaimed. I wish they'd have more bangers. People that are watching at home don't give a damn. Normal human beings don't give a damn. They're invested in the humans that are in the ring. They're not necessarily invested in the moves that are happening inside of the squared circle. Sticking with the AEW World Champion, Wrestle Purist reported that according to sources, MJF hurt his hip during his match versus Jay White at AEW Full Gear and had to have his hip popped back in after the show. He was also said to have banged up his shoulder. MJF is not expected to miss any TV time, but the current plan is for him to be featured in a non-wrestling capacity while healing up. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful replied, writing, I can confirm I've also heard word of MJF's hip being hurt this weekend. When it comes to the possibility of MJF signing with WWE or re-signing with AEW, it was noted that House of Wrestling has heard from several WWE sources who believe Friedman has quietly re-signed with AEW. One higher-up WWE source stated that there have been zero talks between the two sides. They further noted that the idea Friedman is set to enter free agency imminently is a false narrative, and that they believe he has re-signed into 2027. This is a completely in his head storyline, one WWE source said. 1000%, another WWE source stated. I was told a while ago he is under a long-term deal, which is why they stopped pushing the 2024 stuff. It would be added that Ringside News reached out to a tenured member of the WWE creative team to ask about this story. We were able to confirm that it is the belief within WWE that AEW has already locked MJF into a new deal, and they are not bringing him up at all. The report on MJF is accurate. WWE is under the impression he signed with AEW, and so he's not discussed. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.